Alright, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at another Hexbug JunkBot, and this time around we are taking a look at Axel. Now, Axel is kind of a mixed bag of a JunkBot. He's got some neat stuff going on. He does have a couple, really major issues, one of them being, and the reason that I haven't grabbed him yet in this video, is that he's really hard to get standing and to keep standing. Like, if I could just move the background here a little bit, it does not take much for him to fall over at all. I mean, the issue is like one of his legs here is this broom section, which looks pretty cool, but it does have kind of like a rounded footprint. And then his other leg here is this little like retractable wrench piece that we've seen a few times, which obviously does not have much of a foot at all. So he doesn't really have like a lot to stand on. You pretty much just have to get him in a really precarious balancing act. The other main issue is that he's got a couple parts that just don't stay on at all. Like, he's got this really neat little hazard sign that's supposed to stick onto his leg here. It's just got a peg in the back, and it's supposed to go into one of these holes here. But the peg size is just not at all the same size as the hole, so it doesn't stay even a little bit. So that really sucks. Like, it's not even just like a tolerance issue. It's just literally like there's like hole micrometers in between the size that the peg is and the size that the hole is. He does have these slightly smaller holes which don't go all the way through, and like I've gotten it to stay on those like maybe once for like a little bit, but it still does not take much for the piece to fall off, which really sucks because I do feel like it adds a lot to his general look here. But whatever. Otherwise, like, he's got some cool stuff going on. He's got a little wrench arm here, and then he's holding a keytar. I think that's pretty cool. He's holding a little bag in his other hand. He's got the same body as Jack Static, the toxic waste drum. That looks pretty cool. And then he's got a little lampshade on his head here. So with the keytar and the lampshade, it kind of makes him look like kind of a party guy, which I think is pretty cool. Now he's got a little, here, I'll just show it on the head here. He's got a little valve on his face here, which is another piece that does not stay on very well. Now, just because of the lampshade head, like, it does kind of wedge in there, but the piece itself is not really attached to the thing at all, which is unfortunate. Thankfully, that's not as like a, necessary aesthetic piece as the sign in his leg, so it doesn't matter as much, and it does stay in a little bit easier if you just have the lampshade kind of wedged up against it. But still pretty disappointing that there's, just not great. It's not even like really tolerance. It's just like those pegs are not fitted to fit in those holes at all. In terms of articulation, obviously both of his arms you can move at the shoulder here, though this one is just kind of a lower arm here. You can unclip the little keytar if you want. It just clips into the little wrench hand there. The head can move around. Both the legs can move around, but, you're not really getting him into any crazy poses just because, like, he pretty much just has, like, hips and shoulders, no elbows or knees or anything like that. So even if he could stand perfectly, you really wouldn't be able to do much with his articulation. But in terms of comparisons, I'm not even going to bother trying to get him to stand. Here he is with a core class transformer, a G1 minibot transformer, a bot, and his body mate Jack Static. I think Jack Static still wears it a little bit better, but it does work just for his general proportions. Just a shame that he can't stand in any way. In terms of the modules that you can use with him, they're not super great with him, I gotta say. And obviously, like, I mean, the vibration module is not good on the best of JunkBots, but since he can't stand barely at all, like, without the vibration, there's definitely no way that this does a single thing for him. So that one seems to be kind of a complete failure. The motor module obviously just does the same thing that it does with Jack Static, just rotates his arms back and forth here, and that's kind of cute. It's subtle. It's not that exciting. Again, he can't stand while doing that at all, but still pretty cool. And the LED module, he only really has one place that you can peg it into. It's just like in the back here to light up the toxic waste. Again, kind of, just like Jack Static. And, that works. It's just, not that exciting. He doesn't have any other parts that you can plug in the LED to, so it doesn't really do a whole lot for him. So on a whole, I'd say the modules don't really work superbly well with him. But you know, that's okay. I don't know. This guy's such a mixed bag for me because like I do really like his aesthetics generally, but he can't stand his parts fall off, and you know they make him look a little bit more boring without those parts. The modules aren't that interesting with him, so I'm tempted to say, like, in terms of scoring in between keep, edit, and scrap, I'm tempted to say edit because, I mean, well, you have to edit first of all because if you want to count this as an edit, you have to at least take that part off and little valve off too. So that's already an edit. There's some other things you can do to improve the look, like I like to put another one of these shoulder pieces on and extend his arm here so he's got at least one kind of full arm. He would probably benefit from a different leg other than the wrench so that he could have one solid foot on the ground, and then the broom probably would be okay as an extra, you know, as one unstable foot. So edit, I haven't really, you know, put thought into making him a full extra leg, but I do like the way he looks. It's just, yeah, he's got too much with him to really say that he's like a good JunkBot. Maybe it would be better if, you know, mine had slightly stronger joints, but again, just because he's got a rounded foot and then like the little tiny angled foot, like I just can't foresee him standing in in really any way without sitting here for like minutes trying to get him to stand, and then like if you knock over a book on a shelf or something like that, like he'll just fall right down. So not great, but he does have kind of a cool vibe about him nonetheless. But yeah, if you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have Hexbug JunkBots Axel. Oh, here he is with his little instructions. There we go.